Welcome to Learn It, a series of digital scrapbooking tutorials by Studio Wendy at Scrapbook Graphics. We're going to take a quick look today at Make Me Papers and Make Me Papers Pro. These are two really quick and fun actions for creating matching solid papers to go with your kits. Make Me Papers comes with the action, a color swatch template file, and a pattern file. And this pattern file contains some patterns that are already included in Photoshop, but I've added this file here to make it really simple for you to load those patterns and make sure that you have them to work with. Make Me Papers Pro is going to use your own textures and overlays for your papers, and so that comes with the action and then the same color template. We always are going to start by opening the color template and sampling some colors from the kit we're going to use. So let's pop over to Photoshop Elements and take a look at that. Before we get started with the color palette here, I want to show you how to load those patterns into Photoshop Elements. Sometimes Photoshop and Photoshop Elements won't find the pattern unless you first let Photoshop know that it's there. So we're going to take a quick look at how to do that. The first thing we need to do is load the pattern. So we can go up to Edit, Preset Manager, and depending on what version of Photoshop or Elements you have, that might be in a slightly different location. But you want to look for your Preset Manager. And then from the drop-down menu, go down to Patterns. And that will show you the patterns that you currently have loaded into Photoshop and active. From here, you want to click Add or Append. Append means let's add them to the end of the set that we're already looking at. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to append. Then we just need to select the pattern file and click Open. So you'll see that added two new swatches here to our preset manager. So we can click Done. And now to sort of activate them or let elements know that they're there, one thing we can do is go to File, New, Blank File. Just click Default, it doesn't matter what size it is. And then we're going to go to Edit, Fill Layer. And that brings up your Fill dialog box. And here, instead of foreground color, we're going to choose Pattern from the drop down. And where it says Custom Pattern, we're going to scroll all the way down and choose the first of those two patterns that we just added. And click OK. And then let's do it again, Edit Fill Layer, and choose the second one. And hopefully you only have to do this step once, and then after that Photoshop will realize that you have loaded these. And then you can just close out of that file. So from here we're going to start sampling the colors in our preview and add them to our color template. You want to grab the color picker tool, and that's I on your keyboard, and then pop over to the preview. And just start sampling the colors that you want to include in your papers. When you come back, select the first color swatch layer and press Alt or Option Delete to fill it with the color you just selected. And then we'll move on to another color. When you're choosing your colors, keep in mind that lighter colors require a separate action, and so you may want to run a separate set of colors if you want to choose a bunch of light colors. We're just going to keep going through until we've sampled 8 different colors from this kit. If you want to darken a color up a little bit but keep it in the same color family, just click on the color swatch and sample a darker spot within that window and click OK. And that will give us a little bit of a darker shade of that particular color. We can do the same thing with this green here if we want to. We can just grab a slightly darker shade for a little bit of a better result. If you don't see any more colors that you want, you can always allow it to fill up the rest of the papers with some neutrals. So we'll go ahead and just leave these brown color swatches in here as they are. And once you're happy with your color palette, all you have to do is go to your Actions panel where you've loaded the actions and choose the Make Me Solids, Make Me Lights, or Make Me Neutrals action, and just press play. You'll get a reminder that first you have to have the color template open and choose your colors. We've done that, so press Continue. And we want to make sure those patterns are loaded, and we've done that, so press Continue. And we will watch as the action goes through and makes our solid papers. When it's done creating the papers, we will be asked to save them one at a time to our hard drive. So you may want to just number them as they go. When it's all done, we'll see our color swatch pop back here on the screen. We can navigate to where our papers were saved and then open them up and check them out. And so here we go. We've just got a basic set of papers in a basic texture pack. So that's how Make Me Papers works. Let's take a look real quick at Make Me Papers Pro. And for that, you're going to want to make sure you've got your textures ready to be called upon when the action needs them. I'm going to go ahead and use the same color palette just to make it easier. And I'm going to go up to Make Me Papers Pro. The one texture action will choose one texture. The two texture action will allow you to layer two textures on top of each other. So select the one you want to use and press play. When you're prompted for your overlay, just go ahead and choose one. You'll be prompted for a second. Choose that as well. When the action's done running, you have the option to either continue and save it as is or press stop. Once you press stop, you can go ahead and adjust the opacities and blending modes on your textures. And then you want to select the save step in the action and press play to continue from there. Then you'll be prompted to save each JPEG like we did before. And you can go find your files here, open them up to take a quick look, and you'll see that we have our papers right here. Now these papers are a little bit darker because of the textures I've used. So if I wanted to lighten them up or even start with a slightly lighter color in my color palette, I could do that. Now in Photoshop Elements, let's pop back over there for one more second. I'm going to go ahead and add a separate step for earlier versions of Photoshop Elements that will not allow you to press stop. So in earlier versions of Elements, if you're using this Pro action, you will see two parts, part one and part two. And part one will go up until the point where you need to adjust your opacities, and then you'll play part two in order to save all of your papers. So that's how Make Me Papers and Make Me Papers Pro works. I hope this is a great tool for adding some awesome solids to your collection when your kit doesn't come with it. Thanks for watching this episode of Learning.